Hey everyone, it's Brian again. Um, so this video is my response to a Pando article that I was made aware of. I mean, I'm always aware of this stuff that's going on with the media. I shouldn't say always, but most of the stuff that's going on there with Uber and the media and stuff. Sorry, let me move this camera just a little bit. There it goes. But this was kind of interesting because this is kind of the typical kind of bullshit that drivers have had to deal with, and really this is the kind of this kind of like thought is in the media about Surge. They don't understand it. They think that we're ripping them off, and we're not. This article is just it made me so it just, you know why it upset me the most? Because this Pando is a San Francisco. Well, I'm assuming, yeah, they are a tech company. They report on tech, and they don't take like freaking a half an hour of your day just to like before you start making accusations to kind of maybe just think about what you're accusing, what you're being negative about. And they don't. They're just like, oh, everybody's negative about Surge. Everybody else hates Surge, so why don't we just freaking just jump on the bandwagon? Everybody freaking hates it. Well, let's all just freaking hate it. Let's all just hate it. Bah. And you know what? It just upsets. Like now, it's so freaking upsetting. And I'll tell you why. So first off, they have this little, on their article, they have this little guy in this little picture, little sad dude. He's paying the Surge, and the surge rate on this thing is 8 times. 8 times. I was like, what? Do you know what type of event? And it looks like he's just leaving his house. I never, like maybe once in a unicorn has it been 8 times when for somebody needs to go to work. Or, oh yeah, those reports of, there have been reports that I'm not going to say Uber is the best, but there are those reports of like during, times of, where they have like a tornado or something like that. I've seen those, like doing mass tragedies and people requesting cars. Yeah, it's going to get that high because you guys are requesting. This is a unique event. It doesn't happen all the time. It's not all the time. And it's like, this guy just leaving his house, oh, it's so sad, he has to pay 8 times, because he has to go to work, and he has to pay 8 times, so oh god, it's so horrible. But the 8 times to go to work, no, that's not going to happen. It might go up to like 2 or 3, but then again, you, Mr., this is actually by Paul Carr, this little thing, you should know what the price is before you start criticizing. Go back and see what it was when you guys in tech Silicon Valley up there were using so much lovers of you, Uber. Just, oh, Uber's the best thing ever. Oh, Uber. You guys Lyft. You guys are so great. Oh, we love you so much. Why don't you go back and look and see how much it was back then? Were you complaining about the price? And no, you love to take it. You push the button, go. But now, when the price is so cheap, do you complain that it's too cheap? No, you still love it and take it. Who do you think gets screwed between that price difference? Us, the drivers. And what we're doing is we're asking for a little more via Surge. Is that so horrible? No, but this is the way the media is portraying Surge. And this is Uber's fault for using that word Surge, and everybody just thinks it's negative. And every time the Surge goes out of control, and for, these unique periods, when someone orders Uber from they're so drunk from the 49ers game, they're so drunk they just push the button. The Uber app tells you 3 times before how much it's gonna be. You as an adult should know, but no, you're so drunk you just push the button, and then your ride turns into like a $500 ride. Well, that's your fault. Be an adult. Know how much it's gonna be before you order. Don't complain later. It tells you like 3 times. There's 3 indications on the app of how much the price is gonna be. So this is the kind of junk that we have to fight. So their drivers boasting of triggering the Surge thing. I was like, boasting? Yeah, okay. They used to happen in the past, but drivers would like, oh yeah, just go offline and wait for the surge to come back on. What's so bad about that, really? There's really nothing that bad about it. Actually, this is the problem. So, Mr. Carr, this is a problem with your whole argument here. Is that drivers, we don't influence the price as much as you passengers do. Every time somebody next to you is willing to pay the surge rate, that's who you're competing with. You're not competing with us, the drivers. We're just providing our car at that rate. And believe it or not, there are people who just don't care about the price. Like, oh, whatever. 8 times? Baller? Whatever. They don't care. There's billionaires in Silicon Valley, and they don't care about a freaking 8-time surge ride to the airport. They probably don't even use Uber. They have their own cars, but maybe every once in a while they'll use Uber. They don't care because they have billions of dollars. So that's what you're competing with, is the other people in your area that are using the service at that price. It's a stock market. It doesn't matter. We're just providing our cars. Yeah, some of us do, maybe at certain times, at certain events, we probably do take advantage of the higher surge rate because we have to go to those events, and those events are friggin' a pain in the ass to deal with because Uber doesn't help. Here, there's hard summer this past weekend. Uber doesn't help. We have a little an area to pick up drivers. Drivers go there like 4 hours ahead of time to stake out their spots, and then they get a request, and the system crashes, and then they can't get to their riders. It's a big clusterfuck. So yeah, we have to go to these events to make ourselves available. We have to set our time. Our time is money. We have to set, a big chunk of time out of our day to go give rides, and it's not. Is it shameful to ask for some kind of type of, recuperation from that? And you're talking about hard summer. You're talking about 70 to freaking thousand people. And you think 100 Ubers are going to be enough? No, that's why it goes up. Man, this is the kind of stuff that we as drivers have to fight with. So here So here's some highlighted portions of just this article. Just every time I read this stuff, people just don't understand it, especially the media. They just don't understand what surge is. They just think it's about gouging and ripping off people. No, it's not. Who do you think is getting gouged now that the rate is so low? Do you have compassion when you order the ride? Do you go back and look at your receipts from 2012? Or wait, say when Uber was really launched, when we were like 2011, 2012. Do you go back and look at your receipt, your commute, and then you look at your commute now, and do you have any compassion? Be like, man, this guy, he's making like a quarter of what he used to make. Maybe I should give him like an extra 10. No, nobody thinks that way. You just use the service. You have zero compassion. You're just using the service and taking advantage of everybody. But then I shouldn't say you're taking advantage. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. You're not taking advantage of everybody. You're just using the service, but you are taking advantage of if you look at it surge and you're like, I don't want to pay that. When it's like not even close to what it was before. So yeah, I mean, you're just waiting it out. You just want something for cheap. And before it was like a great service and you used it all the time. Give it $20, $30. Yeah, cool, whatever. But now it's like you just want to give $10 and you're not willing to give us an extra like $5 or $10 via the surge. But when back in the day it was great. This is like the hypocritical shit that the people are like are that we have to deal with. It's insane. It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting. I would think that people in Silicon Valley would see what surge is, maybe do a little bit of analysis and be like, oh yeah, these drivers are making more money. They're cheap. The rate's too cheap. So what if it goes up to 2? It's still cheaper than a freaking taxi. Big deal. Does anybody ever say that there? Does anybody ever say that to help us out? No. Instead, they just jump on it when it surges. And they're like, no, we hate surge. We don't like paying surge. Surge is awful, man. And surge is ripping it. We're just gouging everybody because the surge is just going up to 2. We're asking for like another 50 cents for an next. People are just complaining about everything. So this is kind of the stuff that we as drivers have to deal with on the daily basis. A couple parts from this article that I found just kind of laughable. Um, so I don't know. For me, I talk to drivers all the time, and I constantly pull up next to drivers and talk to them about my surge theory, your surge pricing theory. And this thing says another driver pulled up and said, "Turn your app off, and it's going to start surging." Lo and behold, I did. I was like, "What? What driver is this?" Because every time I've never just, yeah. You try to go drive by a driver and tell them, "Hey, turn off the app and make it surge." They'll look at you like, "Who the fuck are you? What the fuck? Who the fuck are you?" They just look at you like you're crazy. So yeah, for this guy to get like, oh okay, yeah, I believe that 100%. So the drivers don't know how to do this stuff. The drivers don't know that. I don't know that going offline. I don't even know if, like I said, I don't think the going offline helps. You have to interact with the software, so you have to say no to the cheap rides. So it's for this guy to be like, "Oh yeah, just go offline. Everybody just go offline." Well, I'll do it, and all the drivers be like, "Oh yeah, we'll follow you." Yeah, whatever. You should see some of the comments I get on my videos, some of the comments I get on my threads. People just freaking hate this idea. So yeah, I don't buy that for 1 second. So in the next line, this says it's inspiring stuff. It's inspiring and outrageous. Oh my God, it's so outrageous. The surge is coming. That you guys are making the surge. It's so outrageous. How is it outrageous that we're asking for a little bit more money? Like I said, the rate here in LA is $1. A taxi makes $2.60, and it's outrageous that we're gonna ask for like 150, 180. That's so outrageous. It's so, oh my God, it's life changing. That extra, couple bucks is gonna change your life. And that goes to us. It helps run our cars. It's so outrageous. No, it's not outrageous. Stop being so dramatic. And another thing, so I'm gonna scan this and I'll put it into, I'll print another copy and I'll put it into the link. You guys can download it, read it for yourself. It's just soapbox. This thing is not even, but fear, just trying to. Oh my God, surge is horrible for everybody. You know what surge is horrible for? The people who don't want to pay, the people who can't afford it. The people that are just cheap. If you're complaining about surge, you're just cheap. You can't afford it. Just find another means. Yeah, it sounds horrible, but find another means of transportation. Really, the other means is like take a bus. Plan your day accordingly. So another thing it says is that we are conspiring to hack Uber's surge pricing feature. Hack. By going offline, you're hacking Uber software. By turning so every time you leave your house and turn off your computer, you're hacking it. These people are tech journalists, right? I was just like, that's hacking? Going offline is hacking the app. Okay. You guys are tech journalists. I'm assuming you have, maybe there in Silicon Valley, actually have real hackers that know how to hack and would probably just laugh at your face and said, "Yeah, I just go offline and that's hacking." Oh, wow. They'd probably just freaking laugh in your face. So, yeah. So then I guess maybe he contacted Uber again, and then he goes back and says, so he got the same response when he asked about surge pricing, like what it does, and they tell you it's like a whole supply and demand, whatever, and it's just like that's all they claim, that's all they care about. They don't care. They don't tell you anything. They don't tell us drivers anything. They're like on a hush mode right now. They don't want to be sued for jack, so they ain't gonna tell you nothing. They ain't gonna tell us nothing. They don't care. So yeah, that's always their claim, is that the surge is there based on supply and demand. It is, but price is also a big key. That's why when we drivers log on, it says Surge pricing. That's why when you, I think even when the driver app or the rider app, when you sign it, it says surge pricing. Pricing is a big deal. It's 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 not supply and demand. It's price. It's like a stock market. The price of a stock goes up and down because price has a big deal to do with it on what people value it as. And like I said before, us drivers, we have some influence in it, but when it comes to real demand, you riders have the most influence. If your neighbors are willing to pay 4 times surge, then guess what? It's gonna keep going up because they're willing to pay that much. Just like the price of a stock. If the stock of one of those hot companies is going up, don't complain that you can't afford it. It's because people who have more money than you can. That's what surge pricing is. It's not there to gouge everybody all the time, but it's there to help put more money into our pocket and put us on par with cabs. So yeah, and then another thing in this article is this guy, he makes a point of, in a couple times, of almost kind of in a negative way of making us drivers, like if we, because it says right here, if we could all just cooperate. To the last line of this like little quote is there is power in just sitting there. There is power just sitting there ready to take. What does that mean? There is power just sitting there ready to take if we could all just cooperate. Is that quote even right? That didn't even sound right. They could edit that or something. Put some quotes or something. Make it more English reading. Do you guys have an editor there? Jeez. If we could, like, what's so bad if we drivers start cooperating, start saying, hey man, we need to value our price better? Is that so horrible that independent contractors can actually get together and agree on a price? And, you know, say, excuse me, I'm still fighting this cold. If, is that really so bad that we talk to one another, us drivers? Can't make friends and cooperate and be like, hey man, just go offline for a little bit, wait for the surge to kick in, and, you know, make a little bit more money. Isn't that what we're all here to do, is make more money? Make a little bit more money, make our lives better? I want to make my life better. I don't want to friggin' sit in that car for like 6 days a week. Really, at a maximum, I want to sit in that car for 4 days. That's it. And take 3 days off. Sitting in that car is one of the hardest freaking things you can do. And this guy, David Carr, or Paul Carr, why don't you come drive? Why don't you sign up and come drive for like about a month? Not a day like these other douchebags do on the internet. Oh, I'm decided to be an Uber driver. I'm going to drive for a day. No. Why don't you come do it for like 2 or 3 months and see how your body feels? See how you feel. Yeah. See how it feels when you give somebody a ride and all you get is $2 out of it. Yeah, why don't you come join us for a little bit? Yeah, and it's so horrible that we have to cooperate. Oh, we can't talk to one another. No, we can't go. No, you can't talk to nobody. You sit in your car by yourself. You accept the pings. That's it. No friends for you. Nothing. Jesus, people are just horrible. Like, we can't talk to friends, another driver, talk to people. You don't talk to people in your industry, in your so-called journalism industry, that you don't talk about other stuff that's going around. How to, what you guys are selling, what you guys are promoting. What do they call that when they have the advertising within the embedded advertising? You guys don't talk about that stuff. Yeah, you guys get together and, you guys can't. You guys can't cooperate. TechCrunch is running an article. Maybe we should hold back. Whoa, okay, yeah, let's hold back. Yeah, you guys don't cooperate. Try to step on each other's stories. Oh, of course you guys cooperate. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. Again, we go through this thing and it says, what's alarming about the hack? This is a hack. How it's going offline, a friggin' hack. Get over yourselves. Jeez. Um, when I see that word, I just want to throw up. When people know, oh, it's a hack. No, it's not a hack. You're in everything with the software. Jeez. Are the algorithms used for stock trading, are those a hack? No, it's part of this. It's part of the culture there, being a trader. You just gotta learn to use the software. So those guys learned to use the software a long ass time ago. So, and then there's one, and this is the one that falsely triggering surge pricing is screwing passengers. Falsely triggering. So, this word falsely, I mean, I don't know. Nobody really knows what Surge does. What the algorithm is. Nobody knows. You can ask Uber all you want, and they'll just kind of look at you like, oh, yeah, cool. Keep on asking your questions. All right, we'll get back to you. You can hypothesize about it all you want. That's all I do. I mean, they're the ones that control it. How is it false if you can see it? I mean, if it's there, it can't be false. I mean, if I decide not to give a ride, that's my choice. And how is it screwing passengers? Passengers agree to the terms. A lot of passengers are willing to agree to the terms because they're smart passengers. They know how cheap the rides have gotten, and they know how much they were in the past, and they know that is still a good value at certain price multiples. So it is not screwing the passengers. We drivers are the ones that have been getting screwed, and nobody kind of talks about that. It's like, oh well, nobody cares, but we don't want to fucking pay surge pricing. Well, you know what? I don't have to give you my car. I don't have to give you a ride if you don't want to pay for it. You can ride in somebody else's car. More than likely, this whole time that this has been going on, this past year, I know you guys don't pay attention because you just sit in your car on your phones like this, like, oh, ignoring everybody. Don't talk to people most of the time. Actually, I should kind of take that back. What do you mean? I do talk to a lot of people. Okay, that was a little bit too harsh, but you know, I know you passengers have noticed a decrease in the quality of the Ubers out there. I have, just from driving. Did pretty bad. I mean, Uber has consistently sold itself as a premium product. It's something that I like to be a part of, being associated with that premium product, providing my 2014 vehicle. Yeah, sorry, I think I was driving 15 or 14. But providing my new vehicle that I invested in to provide Uber services because it's a premium product. It was actually something that I wanted to do, because on the left side, they didn't think that the cars are pretty old. But Uber, when they first started, they were like, we should keep the cars kind of maybe nicer, and keep them nice because they want to offer a premium product. But yeah, I don't know if you guys had noticed, the passenger probably, have you, Mr. Carr, noticed your quality of driver? Has it deteriorated over the past year? Do you ever notice the difference between a non-surge ride and a surge person? I'm not saying that all the time. Somebody who doesn't know that just started might luck out and get a surge ride, but me, all I do is surge rides, and I provide a premium product because I'm asking for a premium price. It's not even really a premium price; it's like a break-even price for me. But I am, to you, the customer, it's perceived as a premium price. Well, it's perceived mainly as gouging, however you guys like to. It's gouging, however you guys want to call it. But I perceive it as a premium price. I take, I'm very professional in my service. Help people, talk to people. If they don't want to talk, cool. I'll get you to your destination, whatever. But I'm very knowledgeable of the roads here, and that comes from almost 2 years of experience. And yeah, so I asked for just a premium brand, and I bet you if you get a non-surge ride, you probably get beat up hoopty. I shouldn't say hoopty, but you know, before it was like 2000, I think 5 was the cutoff for Uber. Now it's like 2000. And man, I see the cars that I see on the road. I mean, no offense to you guys, drivers that are driving, but man, these cars are just all beat up. Paint, the wax is all coming off of them. All these old ass. I mean, I have a Kia, but these old ass Kias are friggin' just. Oh, like what the hell is that? That's an Uber? I remember the first Uber that I got picked up was like kid picked up in was an Audi. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Now it's like these old beat up Chevys and Kias and dirty ass fuck. Yeah. So this is what you are getting for your cheap requests that are yeah, you think we're screwing passengers. And what about us drivers? Who's getting screwed? We drivers are the ones that are getting screwed. So let me see. I wanted to read this. So I mean, the one action thing that was pretty spot on in this thing, this editorial, I don't know what it was, article, was that one little comment: Uber is constantly finding ways to disrupt drivers. So why shouldn't they respond in kind? Well, shouldn't that be so why should they respond in kind? Yeah, I think that should say should. Yeah. I think you guys need an editor. Maybe I'm one. I don't know. So somebody just read the copy. Yeah, let's just say should. So why should they respond in kind? And it's kind of, that's what you're saying, right? I don't know. But either way. Yeah, that's Uber's thing. They just, I mean, you guys in Silicon Valley, you guys kind of bred this. You guys, when they launched, you guys thought they were the best thing ever. You guys, I mean, really, to put it in a not so kind way, you guys were sucking their dick. You're like, oh, you guys are the best thing ever. Uber is the best thing ever. And it went straight to their fucking heads there. They think that they can take over the world for those first 3 years. Travis was everywhere, giving all kinds of speeches, on stage everywhere, talking to everybody, saying, hey, I did this, it's awesome, cool, look at me, woo, good player, yeah, I'm awesome. And you guys, Silicon Valley, you guys just fed into it, like, yeah, this is awesome, you guys are going to change the freaking world. But then over the past 2 years, that's kind of like, the high is come down severely. Travis is gone. I haven't seen him on stage anywhere. Quick. I don't know, maybe they made him shut up, the board there. They probably just got him. And now all of these sudden, these articles, these like, hey man, you guys are fucking people over article. All this stuff is coming out now. Yeah, so you guys built the monster, now you got to deal with it. And the monster is shutting up. It's being quiet. It's not playing along. Saying, well, this is what you get. So yeah, that's kind of the Uber's motto. They don't kind of give a fuck. They just don't care. They're gonna try to do whatever they want, take over the world however they want. Another thing is, surprise, surprise, with this one. So Mr. Carr went and he said, I emailed Uber to ask if they were aware of attempts to artificially trigger surge pricing and overcharge riders. God, this overcharge thing is just, oh my God. Everybody's using the words. As is their wont. Which I mean, I'm not a big English guy, but is won't, there's like an apostrophe missing here, and I don't know, what is won't, like, without apostrophe even a word? Maybe someone can comment down here. But he's put, as is their wont, They didn't reply. Well, surprise there. Big shock there. They didn't reply. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, you're not going to get a response from them. They don't care about you. It's just, you write for Pando, not to be upset, but you write for Pando Daily. It's not the New York Times or anything. They don't care. So, I don't know, he uses word like stick it to the man in this thing. What appears to be a way for drivers to stick it to the man is in fact a way for drivers to get even more from passengers. I was like, man, I'd say this is the kind of junk that we have to put up with. Everybody thinks we're ripping them off with the surge pricing, but then they don't. This is what really just gets me. I would think a journalist at a tech journalist company would maybe stop. Why don't you go print out your receipts for over the past, 5 years of using Uber? See some that compare in distance and time. And maybe do an analysis and say like, hey man, what's up with these drivers not making, they're making 50% less. What's up with that? As a person in your job, would you be comfortable making 50% less? Just period. And then all of a sudden for people to say that we're ripping off people, but asking for a little bit more, not even on par of what it was in the past. I mean, here in LA, I think it started like at $2.55. I would be happy if it got to $2 on the Surge at all times. I would be very happy. I know there's tons of drivers that would be happy with that. But people think that we're ripping them off, but just asking for a little. But this whole Surge thing is just, I'm just so upset. I mean, I'm not. The passengers don't know, but really, a journalist, a tech journalist, do you not just take 10 to 15 minutes before you start typing to think, how am I going to approach this little write-up and maybe do a little history on what the price was before and what the price is now and what the Surge was then and what the Surge is now, how they kind of compare? It's not ripping off people. At least in most markets, and a lot of markets, and the rate, maybe it's 2, maybe, I don't know. It just kind of depends on what people want to pay. Like I said, we drivers, we don't influence the price as much as you guys do. You guys are the ones that influence the price the most. We don't. We kind of say like, oh yeah, we're not willing to drive our cars for more. But then once demand picks up, it's like, man, we need to get more cars. So yeah, it's gonna go up because other people are willing to pay the surge rate. We influence the price, but not as much as you, the passenger, does. That's the thing that's getting lost in this whole thing, is that the passenger, it's a two-way market out there. It's the buyer, it's me, the seller. I mean, we can go, who's the buyer, who's the seller. I can go on a totally different tangent about that. But it's me, I'm selling my car, and you're buying. I don't have to sell my car to you if you want a cheap ride. I don't. That's what the algorithm is there to help us. Do you guys write up an article on Google because their stock price is so high and they say they're ripping off the public? Why don't you try writing that up and see how that goes? It's the same exact thing. It is the same exact thing. It is an open marketplace, and that's what you're participating in when you request an Uber. You are participating in an open marketplace. You don't know it. You just think you're opening the app, pushing the button, but you're not. So we're not ripping off the riders. Yeah, there's the occasional, not everybody's perfect. There's the occasional story of, yeah, some drivers, trying to rip off passengers. Yeah, that happens. That's everywhere, in any workplace situation. People just try to take advantage. Drivers try to take advantage. Hopefully Uber will weed those out, get those people off the platform. Won't have to deal with them, worry about them. But to say that, here, especially now, not in San Francisco, but in, what is that, is it called the South Bay? Where San Jose and all that stuff is, in Oakland, East Bay. They just got their rates cut again. Do you, Mr. Carr, when you order, do you even look? Do you say, man, these guys, they got their rates cut again? Uber doesn't promote carrying cash. It should be a cash, but you're like, man, maybe I should give this guy an extra $5. No, you just order the ride and take the ride. You don't care. You just order it, whatever. You don't care. So it's like, we're just asking for a little bit more money is all. We're not there to gouge you. If you want, you could take a cab. Try that, see how much you pay for that. You know how wonderful those are. Those are so awesome, and how inexpensive they are. You could take a bus. You know how awesome that is. There's all these different modes of transportation. Uber is just one of them. But to say that we're ripping off people just for asking for 50 cents more, $1 more per month, which isn't even what it was when it started. Just to say we're ripping off people? Super ridiculous. It's upsetting. And like I said, the biggest thing about this thing that's so upsetting is this. Tech people who are supposed to, their job is to understand the industry there, to understand what's going on in the industry that's going on around them, to understand what's going on. They just do that and they're like, oh, whatever, everybody, all these people feel like they're getting ripped off, so why don't we just jump on the bandwagon and just write up a little story like, oh my god, everybody's getting ripped off. Why don't you understand? Why don't you try to understand what the Surge model is? That it's there to help us. Who's getting ripped off? You, the rider, or the driver that's providing their service, man? So we've been taking on the chin for fucking over a year now. Monetarily, people's lives and health have been suffering for this stuff. Drivers been spending way too much time in their cars, all because you guys want cheap rides. So yeah, this is what your cheap rides are causing. You're not willing to pay a little bit more, you're gonna get a shitty, right? It's hard to, I shouldn't say you're gonna get a shitty, but the odds are that you're gonna get someone who's new, someone who doesn't know how to use the Uber software, someone who doesn't know how to, ask for a little bit higher, just a little bit more. It's not even a lot more, it's just a little bit more. So, I guess that's the end of my rant. If you have a response, I'd be happy to speak with anybody. Maybe change the way people think over there about this whole Surge thing. But yeah, even you, Mr. Carr, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, send me a tweet. Watch my Meerkat sessions. Learn what Surge is for us drivers. It's at TNC My Life. Follow me. I'd love to spread the word and and change everybody's thinking of what Surge is. Take care, everybody. Be safe, drive safe. Bye-bye.